Yeah, this is the last one of the game.
Pushing it.
Don't worry, we have dogs. Like I said,
One of them get it?
he just shoved past into it. I assume he's munching it. You get it? Think so.
Go down. Go down. Bed.
Bed!
I got it.
Jake? Bed! Alright, let's get this over and done with. First right, third, district courtroom, number 3, whatever.
235.
Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready? Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Oh.
I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impacts herself. It is a fake. Well, that's weird. Order. Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? This is not written by Miss Impacts, and who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis, however. It appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Carita. Mr. Carita? Oh well. Looks like Miss Impacts never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about On Guard. However, Your Honor, even though this suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On Guard could not have known that, and so that facts remained unchanged. Acting under the assumption it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. The theory that On Guard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, that's impossible for Mr. On Guard to not have known it was a fake. What's this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera. Ah, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. On Guard knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Isn't that right? If that were true, this means Mr. On Guard would have known that the victim had forged the note. Ack! So then the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake. If that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. Prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Engarde's motive for murder was is suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Engarde monitored Mr. Kurita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Engarde didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Order, order, order. Mr. Edgeworth. Looks like this time it is you who have dug his own grave. Ugh. As I figured. Huh? As you figured? As I figured, it came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? The prosecution can't prove Mr. Engarde's motive through the evidence. Then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. For stuttering, this is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley DeKiller to commit murder. That's impossible. No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness? Yes, go on. Who is it? Man himself, Mr. Shelley DeKiller. Oh, Mr. DeKiller.
What?
Wait! Shelley DeKiller! You mean the killer? I mean the assassin? Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here? To the witness stand? Well, yes, in a matter of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright? Yes? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? Can't really do much else to drag this trial out. Defense has no objections, Your Honor. Wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now, witness. Your name and your occupation, please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley DeKiller, and I am a professional assassin. I say. What is going on here? Your Honor? How can you remain so calm? What is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. DeKiller will testify to this court. This must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. DeKiller himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are, in fact, Shelley DeKiller. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya! Maya! A voice. Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? Defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelley DeKiller. Looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness, there's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. What would that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Kurita, is this correct? It is as you say, I did indeed kill Mr. Kurita. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it, a bad dream.
Poor Judgy.
Shelley DeKiller, what is he going to say? About my client. There's something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give you the name of my client. Mr. DeKiller seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. While he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor, Mr. DeKiller is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? Seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Something I must... Oh. Trust between you and your client? Provided my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. That is why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the DeKiller name so my clients can trust me. Couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? This never happened before, but if it ever did... Yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly... That's enough. Please, no more. Very well. It was only hypothetical anyway. Seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I think this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. This is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die?
You just threatened the judge?
No, I didn't say anything.
Hmm.
The judge had better watch himself. I did that one already. Oh, yeah. You said that your client had already broken the rules. The person who framed another is the worst kind of human. That's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. My luck, an assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? The case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. That's the reason I am here today on this witness stand. Now then, I do believe it's time that I reveal the name of my client. Don't you agree? What is it? I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Carita? The person's name is... Adrian Andrews.
What?
What? Witness. That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. DeKiller just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. DeKiller told him a different name. Matt on guard, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you're the one who summoned this witness. You're Shelley DeKiller. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt on guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided the suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there's a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DeKiller's client, who requested the murder, was not the defendant at all. No. All this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt on guard is innocent. seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please, continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, On Guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And On Guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant, sorry. Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. It was Andrews. Suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. The testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. DeKiller himself has testified. He has named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. Knife and button donning the nickel samurai costume. But that's you even have a motive. We know Miss Celeste Impacts was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No, Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Tell the real who the real killer is. Tell them. Please help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya, or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Phoenix, I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept the not guilty. You are a lawyer, I know, but Matt On Guard is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than On Guard. Even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact. That it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten On Guard convicted so many times over. But he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? Never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. Defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. I want to see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. Still more evidence to look at, and I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please reestablish connection with Mr. DeKiller. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What's he talking about, usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. DeKiller, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. Legal people in your procedure. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? About my client, part 2. I've already stated quite a few times Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Carrito was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken rules. Most unexpected turn of events for the 5th time now? However, this time everything has finally been revealed. second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness, as if I have a choice here. Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose. Don't understand what's going on anymore. It makes two of us. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. Tekiller. What's the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Corrida had been murdered. But how do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? Mr. Tekiller's supposed client thought Mr. Corrida had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. Wasn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? I can fix this. No, it's not your fault. It's twisted. Fuck me. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That's not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? Afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, your client should have knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Next, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Ah, sorry. Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you. Anyway, I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. Prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items Tekiller left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? She sounds wonderful, don't she? That's correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was with that brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. Why is that? It's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Why he meets his clients is not important. That wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. What do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I've already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him.
Him.
That's when I thought I can trust this person as a client. It's true what they're saying about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Very important. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. I'd like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy. How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley DeKiller. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up. About her. So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Oh! Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following. That he always meets a client face-to-face. He always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been this Adrian Andrews. I've never seen a transmitter sweat before. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. DeKiller, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so, he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What's going on? Shelley DeKiller, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you allow me to testify once more. Arr, I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Juan Carita and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So he took this job through a letter. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony. It means he definitely is lying. Careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me, no matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Two or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client, which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Make sure I'm doing this right. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one... Well, wait. Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. Bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Kurita's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client. Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony, as you wish. Shelley the Killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item? I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase?
Jesus.
Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. I was going to burn it for her sake. Even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands. I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Order, order, order. So that's where you two were going. So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Ah! Order, order, order! Ugh, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do. Wait, please. Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. No, please, not that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... Ah! What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? Didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there's a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... Ugh. The prosecution, What has come over everyone? Even you are... Prosecution rests. What is going on around here? Prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright, yes, Your Honor? If I end this trial here, right now, then your client, man on guard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, man on guard, to the stand. Guidance from DeKiller's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. Can't believe it. Outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You've done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Ah!
Hey, Shroom.
Hey, Shroom. Nope. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. Mr. On guard? What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap. It's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice or should I save Maya's life? Better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, Maya will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged with as a murderer. If I say he's guilty or not guilty, either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. The person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, and your client, Mr. Matt On Guard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right? I can't do this, but I have to decide something. Can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Client, Matt On Guard, is... Well, there goes my legal career. We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt On Guard, your client, deserves an answer. I'm sorry. Matt On Guard is... Ha! First time you've actually been happy to see the whip, huh? Franziska von Karma! What are you doing here? Ow! See now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces, do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine and his injuries are minor. Yay!
Is that, gumshoe?
Gumshoe. See, they're all tied up in his coat. All the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is. It's gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what was inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? The trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What? Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence. I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. Oh, I forgot to do that. Sorry. Hold on one sec.
Surprise.
There we go. That would have been better timed earlier. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. Piece of evidence are items left by DeKiller during his escape from the police. Must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor, DeKiller left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That's all we can hope for. First item is a pistol. The killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Does that pistol have any relation to this case? You've yet to perform ballistics tests, so I can't say anything for certain. However, I believe it has something to do with this case, at least with me. Oh yeah, she got shot.
Yeah.
That's the pistol that he used to shoot you, isn't it? That's what I believe, yes. Oh. Kept the bullet they removed from my shoulder as sort of a memento, because she's weird. I'm sure it will be an excellent sample for the test. That's a pistol that was used to shoot Francisca. Probably not going to help us very much. Second piece of evidence is this videotape. Bet the killer took that from On Guard Mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. Looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. Somehow, it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Shelly the Killer is no ordinary man. You've added. Last piece of evidence is his bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform for the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There's one thing I found interesting about this uniform. What was that? There's a button missing on this uniform. Button? Very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That's all I have to present, Your Honor. Sec. We're getting the bad end first. Just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shelly the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing, it is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. These 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may now step down. Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix, I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. They do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try for my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first, make On Guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If On Guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking for me to do the impossible. The second way, force the killer to end his contract with On Guard. If the killer were to no longer think of On Guard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if he can make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. Biggest problem is the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. Pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what he has always worked for us? Other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, the judge. We have all seen the pieces of evidence. And that's how we have come to know the truth. There's one person who has yet to see them all. That person does not know the truth. That truth. It may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections at this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, this court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I'll grant you one chance. One chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. It's impossible to turn this situation around in one try. One try, that is all I will permit. I have to try to remember. Everything that has happened up to this point, think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking Unguard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to? Why don't we just say the hell with it and show it to Maya? I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. The attorney's badge. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't have anything to say to this. How about you, Miss Viscount Karma? Well, I was just shot, so... Afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue. What? No one understands what you were talking about anymore. Wait, please, one more chance. That's enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant Matt Unguard not guilty. Had to get the bad end first. That is all. This court is adjourned. Just like that, the case ended. I ran away from the courtroom. Wandered the streets alone. Never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. Miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. Wah, 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 wah. Alright, let's get the real ending. Alright. Just as I thought. Was that, Your Honor? I'm sure were we under normal circumstances. Oh, Jake Bean over there all cute. These items from Shelley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, the question is not who did the killing. What?
They both not knighting.
Oh, yeah. Who is the client? Yes, that is correct. These three items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may now step down. Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful, absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? I'm such a douchebag. Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. Come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's try. For my sake, just think about it for a second. There are two ways out of this situation for us. Two. First, make Unguard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Unguard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. Second way, force the killer to end his contract with Unguard. If the killer were to no longer think of Unguard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia, that's even more impossible. He's a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. Bigger problem is the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. Pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean? You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. Defense, prosecution, the judge. We've seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. There is one person who has yet to see them all. That person does not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections at this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. While we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids. I have already told you, Mr. Wright, this court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying that it is us that needs any evidence, Your Honor. Then you want to show this evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I'll grant you one chance. One chance. Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. That's impossible to turn the situation around in one try. One try, that is all I will permit. I have to try to remember. Everything that has happened up to this point, think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking Ungard down at the same time. Now, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show the evidence to? See, and now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? I think there's some merit in showing this evidence to that witness. Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. Alright, looks like I managed to convince him.
Oh boy.
Why, she's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence? Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That's most regrettable. However, it was an order from my client. Yeah, seriously, transceiver has eyes? Hold on. Nope, not sneezing. Okay. I felt like I was going to. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was sternly told by my client to not watch it, so I have absolutely no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. Me? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? That true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted a camera? Well, the only person who could have placed a camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. That was Adrian Andrews. Be quiet and listen, Your Honor. Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right? Yes. That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why had Matt on guard film the crime scene? Reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why your client would secretly film the crime scene. They wanted blackmail on you.
Is that the right answer?
Client once told me something very interesting. We were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelley the Killer? Oh!
Oh, he mad.
It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client. One question for the witness. Yes? Told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. Said that you detest traitors most of all. Yes, that's right. What if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then? That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, that client would become the next target. For the honor of the Dekiller name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment.
Bam.
I see. That's all I want to know. So the traitor becomes Dekiller's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright. Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item!
Maya.
Maya? I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. Now we get to have the panicked Mr. Matt on guard. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I am sort of... I don't quite know... Gah! Miss Von Karma, where did that... She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand out a verdict. Mr. On Guard, looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You'll finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy. But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me! Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please. Is this alright with you, Mr. Wright? We've finally reached the end of a very long battle. Whether he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. Matt on guard. Even though I'm a lawyer, cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here. Me? My wonderful self? Guilty? Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it, you can't run away from your crime anymore. Oof. Guilty, 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 guilty!
Yeah, that was a bit much.
As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. We? I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Edgeworth, how is Matt on guard? I've left Miss Von Karma in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whipped leather right about now. Very good. It was a close one, wasn't it, witness? Yes, I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. First time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. Guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did. Witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. I'm going to say you would choose death. That is of no concern to me. But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, it's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. Today, when the two of you use your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt like I had finally been saved. Oh, this is the first time I have ever seen her smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I've ever felt comfortable with myself, with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Excuse me while I go to jail. Looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits. That is good enough for me. Judge is so simple.
Oh, Judge.
That is all. This court is adjourned. You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. Got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that to what's really important. Now realize that there's something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Next, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final piece of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. Can't count on evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice or should I save Maya's life? My client met on guard as guilty. Guilty or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then, and your answer? Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer really means to you. Right! Edgeworth, I have good news. Maya is now safe in police custody. Really? Pearls, you're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, she's quite safe. She is on her way here as we speak in a patrol car. Ah! Mystic Maya, safe! You did it! You really did it, Mr. Nick! Ow, she punches deceptively hard for a kid. I believed in you. Kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her, Mr. Nick will save her. Wow! Thanks? Oh, what's wrong? It's Von Karma. About earlier, thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix, right? You lost. Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you are still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand this, Von Karma. How dare you? Don't worry, she may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago. Edgeworth? For my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, so my win record remained spotless. But man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. Fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. Felt like I had lost everything because of that. Then, my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. Couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death. As well you should have. A prosecutor who has shamed himself with defeat should crawl into a hole and die. But that was not what happened.
She is so much.
After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. It was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change. What foolish nonsense. We prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so, no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. Then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. What? You trusted your enemy? Doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. Truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. Never easy, we claw and scratch for every inch. But we will always eventually reach the one single truth. This I promise you. The truth? Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. Well, I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Ray? Right. That's why you couldn't forgive me. This man who went into hiding, isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night. Ah, is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? Really let me down. When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me. All those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. That the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool. Miss Von Karma. No want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. Von Karma is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Von Karma. Neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Ziska threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver. Isn't that the thing that she used to track Detective Gumshoe? I'll return this to the precinct later. Or something else. Isn't that Miss Von Karma's whip? Never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. Should keep this, right? Okay. Nick!
Maya!
Yay! Mama! Maya! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Oh, they're a cute family.
Pearl.
Oh, Nick, I knew you would come through. You got on guard convicted like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. We sure pressed our luck this trial. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and hug you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? Thanks a lot, Nick. Don't mention it. Maya. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm relieved you're alright. Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago. Heh. Hungry.
Eh.
Alright. I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick. Food! Grub, chow, I'm starved! So hungry even you look like a nice juicy burger on a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please. If you insist. Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. So I've decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick. Food! Jesus. Hey, pal, sorry to keep you guys waiting.
Oh,
Gumshoe, are you alright? Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things.
Oh, Gumshoe.
Telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him. You did it again, city boy. I feel like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking. Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai. Thanks. Now, looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bullied Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight, even. I'll keep that in mind. Well, come on now. Everyone gather around. Y'all are gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal, amen. No, when you think about it, you were the one who saved the day, Detective. Huh? Me? You really think so? He's right. If it wasn't for the 3 items you took, I think this trial would have had a very different ending. Ah, well, you know, it... Huh? Wait, that's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I'm sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. There's a 4th item? Come on, y'all, it's over. Whew, boy, I tell you, you really are something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped, never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why she looks so happy about that? Being shut away for 2 whole days. Weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal, so where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. No, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. Well, that's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. Ah. Sure, it was nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth? This thing is picking something up. Ah, that's Miss Von Carver's receiver. Thanks to her, I had my most awful experience of my life, sir. Can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, it's probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. Still have some work to do. Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't eaten anything yet. You've eaten way too much, you glutton. I had fun tonight. Now, if you'll excuse me... Wait. What? I just want to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there. If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right? I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel. What's this? Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her. You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job. Looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya. Huh? Yes, Pearly? Guess you two can go back to be all lovey-dovey, right?
Oh my gosh.
You and Mr. Nick, I mean. Pearly, would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me. Anyway. So who's paying for this lovely dinner party? As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick. Huh? Yeah, I'm kind of at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. So I kind of already put your name on the bill.
Poor Gumshoe.
Huh? Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, you see? I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It better be anyhow for $3,000. Huh? Actually, I reckon you bought it for me since it's on your tab and all. Huh? Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? You don't need to hold back now, you hear? Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out. This is going to be the first time I hear the real you. Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then, if you say so. I gotta pee. Really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro.
Pearl.
I'm so happy that you could save Mystic Maya, Mr. Nick. I'm so happy for the two of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners.
Oh my god,
So I sort of made reservations for the two of you, just in case.
Pearl.
Oh dear lord.
Pearl needs to get off it.
Well, pal, looks like I'm back on the force again. Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it! Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal.
Oh, Gumshoe.
Like my favorite character. I, Maggie Bird, am retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm going to be a waitress from now on. Bring smiles and joy to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. I forgot she was in one of these. Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yes. Are you here to visit a patient? I'm Director Hattie. Oh, recently. Yes. That girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember, if I even laid so much as an eye on her, it would go crack. Matter if I got whipped, though. Yes.
Reaper.
I should not be that good at that voice.
Reaper.
time to begin our quest of world circus domination. And to let the world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe. Hey Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk? I think if there are any talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at Moe's jokes.
Oh, we may see the clown again.
Hopefully not.
Forewarning, Shroom.
Ah! I'm ready. I'm ready. There's no way these jokes are good. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do that. Got our new act all worked up. Prepare for Hallelujah Chorus. Say something, will ya? You're supposed to start this off. Get out with it. He's gone. What's this? Drat, it's just an ordinary electric razor charging on its stand. Can't believe this, really. How long do they plan on... but it's Edgy Poo's idea, so that means it has a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? I was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They just used to call me Queen Wendy and treat me like royalty. And oh my god, I can't do this. Through the warehouses. Burn right down. Rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a.
There's a third one, right?
Yeah, there's a third game. Appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Well, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Karma. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. Well, yeah, but there's one more in this. If I play the other games, I'm going to have to do it through an emulator for PC.
Be sure to visit my homepage. You will be blessed with longevity.
Yeah, because there's, Dual Destinies. There's actually some Edgeworth games, too.
Edgy.
Okay. International Departures, Gate 12. Where are you going, Francisca? How'd you know I was here? I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example. That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that. Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, sure, I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? Seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here. Doesn't matter anymore. Case is already over. What are you going to do now? That's none of your business. Are you running away? Shut up. You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Karma's daughter. Francisca. So many expectations from everyone around me. Expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. Failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius. There's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius. I've always known that. But I had to be one. I had to. You may not be a genius like your father, but you are a prosecutor. You have been and always will be. No, I'm not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away. Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to. Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you? I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip. You haven't changed a bit. You always left me alone and walked on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge. I see. You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today. Believe you can. Like how Adrian Andrews did. Adrian Andrews? You're going to use her during the trial, right? But you were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right? Today you chased after me after I had left you behind all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. Okay, I can't do this. I'll be back. Just hang tight. Oh my god. Whew. Be right back. My word.
Okay, hold on. Okay. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you were going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways. Franziska von Karma. Oh! Franziska von Karma. I think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now. You better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth. Yeah. Oh boy. Phoenix Wright, one day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Till then, last piece of evidence that never made it to you. Take good care of this fourth piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again.
Oh dear lord. Alright. Oh, it continued without me?
No, I did it.
Oh, gotcha.
Miss Franny was crying.
Who's Franny?
Franziska.
Oh. That's that? Oh, damn. I'll watch the replay. Okay. Continue?
Yes. I have to pee now.
You have to pee now?
Yes.
Okay, good. I will wait for you to return. Want me to come up with you?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, because can you
Yeah, I'll refill your water.
grab that?
Alright, be right back.
Show you.
Take them out?
Be stubborn.
Oh, they'll be fine. Thinking of them anyway. Oh yeah, we're starting the best game. Okay, cool.
Yes. Oh, shroom. So, we found out what my sister's having. She's having a girl. And I got
Having
this
a crotch goblin.
I got this cute outfit. Found on Saturday she's having a girl. I'm gonna have another niece.
She said, "Aw."
This will be the fourth one. Girls run strong in our family. My dad. My grandma had 8 children. My dad was the only boy.
Oh, you'd be an awesome aunt, I think.
Well, she'll be an aunt in June. She's just gonna, I think Kwai's having a boy.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Wait. I forgot Kauai was pregnant.
Yes.
Did I miss that completely?
I don't know. We talked about it last time.
Little boys aren't too terrible.
They're easy. I have both. I have nieces and nephews. The boys are very easy.
Okay.
Girls are emotional. My one niece got upset one day with my mom and told my mom because she got upset before school one day and my mom was there and she got upset because her head was too big.
I remember that. Alrighty. Turnabout memories. Yep.
Yeah. My mom was like, I got nothing for a big head. My other niece at the gender reveal was upset because they were popping the balloons.
Arg. How did I
Which is how they did the gender reveal. Yeah.
Why? Why did I do that? Oh, that's Edgeworth and Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about her, that girl. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. Was that Edgeworth? No, I don't think so.
That looks like right though.
That's definitely Phoenix. It wasn't me. I didn't. I've never played this game. I didn't do it. I didn't play the other one either. The only one I ever really played was the first one.
No, it's Doug Swallow.
Ah, 5 years earlier, Mia Fey, second trial. Of 9:40 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 3. Phew, it's finally time. I'm kind of nervous. Ahem! Oh, Mr. Grossberg, good morning. Mia, please calm yourself down. Howard didn't calm down. You're going to get yourself arrested for suspicious behavior, you know? What are you talking about? I am relaxed, Mr. Grossberg. Look at me, I'm relaxed. Like both my lapels. I obviously haven't got the temperament to be a lawyer. I'm so sorry. It's just that I'm so nervous today. Oh, that's right. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it?
You're dropping everything.
No, not the hemorrhoids. Oh, yes, yes. This is your first time in the big leagues, isn't it? Well, never you fear, my dear. I am Marvin Grossberg, I'm at your service. Actually, this is my second time in court. Still, you surprised me. What with your earnest request last night? Let me handle this case, you suddenly said, and quite forcefully, too. Just found out yesterday about the case, I mean. What? You've already learned all the relevant facts? Well, about that, you see, of course I have, I think. Oh dear. In any case, don't let our client see you're so nervous. See the poor young man in the pink sweater over there? That's our client. morning there, everybody. Good morning. Try to keep smiling, Mia. I just want to say, get all you got. Yep, I'll be fine. No problem. Chew. What's wrong? Do you have a cold or something, Mr. Rye? Actually, it's right. Like the Flying Brothers. People screw it up all the time. And yes, I have a cold. That's what this mask is for. My doc says this way I won't give it to anyone else. Be kind to others, he says. Right, Mr. Wright. You have nothing to fear in court today. If you are truly innocent, I promise I will save you. Please let go of my shirt. That's right. He's the one on trial, not you. He's the one who should be nervous. You need to stay strong for your client, Mia. Name is Mia Fey. I'm still pretty new at this lawyer thing. First time I appeared in court was a year ago. That trial traumatized me so badly I thought I'd never set foot in another courtroom. It's been 1 year since then, and well, here I am again. This time I'm gonna win. For my client and for myself. Courtroom number 2. Of course, now in session for the trial of Phoenix Wright. Oh, that's weird to say.
So Phoenix did get himself in some trouble.
Huh?
So Phoenix did get in trouble.
Oh, yes, he did. Defense is ready, Your Honor.
This wasn't talked about before, was it?
What?
Was this talked about in the other games?
No. I think there was a vague mention. I don't remember. Oh, I just realized he's actually... Oh, this is a retcon? Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Love his hair. He actually has hair right now. Prosecution's ready, Your Honor. Defense today is Miss Mia Fey, was it? Yes, Your Honor. Is there a problem? I was under the impression that Marvin Grossberg was going to be leading the defense. Yes, well, you see, Mr. Grossberg had a bit of an emergency. Emergency? Wasn't that him standing there right next to you? Yes, well, you're just a rookie. Are you sure you can really handle this? Don't let him scare you, Mia. Give him your toughest look. Of course, Your Honor. I think. Well, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, please. Well. Can't believe a veteran like me has to spend this time babysitting a new defense lawyer. Don't worry, little girl. It will all be over soon. What was that all about? Was he trying to trash talk me? Now that I'd like to proceed with a summary of events on the day in question. The incident occurred on the campus of Ivy University. The murder victim was a student named Doug Swallow, not Mr. Spitz. He is a fourth-year student studying pharmacology. Sorry, it was a bad joke. Sounds like he was a very bright young man. Yes, well, we have a photo taken at the scene of the crime.
That bugs me.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
I'm playing with myself. Students discovered the scene shortly after the murder. They found the victim's body and the defendant, who had obviously bungled his getaway. They then called the police. Certainly makes the defendant look very suspicious indeed. Very well. Court accepts this photo into the record as evidence. Hand me that napkin. Feels better. By the way, can't quite tell the cause of death from this photo. Your reputation for sagacity is well earned, Your Honor. Truth is that this victim died a rather unusual death. Unusual death? What do you mean, Mr. Payne? Well, perhaps the defense would like to take this question. Huh? Simple question. I thought I might loosen you up a bit. I'm a genteel man, if you will. Playing with yourself. What? Stand up to him, man. Show him what you're made of. Ah, perfect opportunity. Well, what was it? The cause. Go on. Please say you know at least this much. Fatal electric shock. I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read through the whole file. My hemorrhoids are beginning to act up. That's what you meant. Now see here. Details of the case are filed into the court record. But you knew that already, didn't you? Ah, court record. I think I can see that by pressing tab. All the weapons we need can be found in the court record. Take a good hard look at the data there and think carefully before you answer, my dear. Yes, sir, I'll do just that. Gotta stay calm. I can't let the prosecutor get the better of me. Court record, okay, I just press tab here. Now then, would the attorney for the defense please answer the question? What was the cause of death? According to the court record, it was a fatal electric shock. In other words, electrocution. Electrocution? Huh. How would such a thing happen? Murderer used some type of new, super powerful stun gun, perhaps? Answer that will become crystal clear as this trial proceeds, Your Honor. But before that, there is one more vital issue. Well, what's that? Why, motive, of course. Apparently there was some bad blood between the victim and the defendant. Bad blood? What do you mean? Oopsie, I'm terribly sorry. You're the defense attorney, so you must know all about it. I shouldn't be stealing your spotlight like this. Really don't like this guy's smug attitude. That's Winston Payne for you. He's one smooth operator, if you catch my drift. Don't call him the rookie killer for nothing, you know?
It just bugs me. We'll see it.
The funny thing is that that's his normal animation without the hair. He's always tapping his head. I just realized that too. Now let's hear from the defense. What was the source of the bad blood between the victim and the defendant? I always thought he was trying to imitate Edward, you know. Yeah. And this time I would like to see some supporting evidence. Evidence? No need to get all worked up over this. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Oh, profiles maybe?
A third-year art student?
Yep. If I remember correctly, this was the case that made him want to become a defense attorney. He currently has a cold. Here we go. Phoenix Wright's girlfriend dated the victim Doug Swallow up until 8 months ago. He stole his girl. To steal your girl. As I said, all our weapons can be found in the court record. Find the evidence you need and then shove it into old Greybeard's face. Yes, sir, into old Greybeard's face. Or Mr. Grossberg. Trying to set a better example for the young lady. Guilty! Mia, evidence isn't the only thing in the court record. People's profiles are as well. Toggle between profiles and evidence with tabs, so be sure to go over it all. Now, let's see what you got. What was the cause between the bad blood between Phoenix and the girl? Take that! Reason for the bad blood between the two of them was this woman here. Dahlia Hawthorne, is it? Very good, Miss Faye. Seem to have picked up on it at least this much. This woman is the girlfriend of the defendant, Phoenix Wright. But up until about 8 months ago, she was with the victim, Mr. Swallow, not Mr. Spitz. Clearly, she has some part to play in the story. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get tired of that joke.
You're fine.
He's done it again. Before the cross-examination starts, he's already got the judge thinking like he wants. Very well, Mr. Payne, call your first witness. If it pleases the court, the prosecution would like to call Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? The defendant himself? Well, Miss Faye, that's fine. After all, Mr. Wright is innocent, right? Defense has no objection. Very well.
Best joke bear repeating.
But it's a terrible joke. I even admit that. Court calls Mr. Phoenix Wright to a witness stand. Come on, Spiky here. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Oh, yes. My name is Phoenix Wright. My job is, well, right now I guess I'm a suspect. No, he means what you did before you were arrested. Oh, shoot. I was a university student. Mr. Wright, understand that death of that... But I didn't do it. I'm innocent, I tell you. I'm telling you I was... Excuse me. Would the defendant please refrain from passing out his cold to the rest of us? Seems the witness has something he wants to say. Well then, Mr. Wright, Excuse me. Please tell us about your relation to the victim. Right away, Your Honor. Oh, he's so eager. Victim and I. I admit I was there, but I'm not a killer. All I did was find his body. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. Never even talked to that stuck-up British wannabe. I see. So you hardly knew the victim? Right. Like I said, I'm not a killer. Phew. Looks like the judge understands. Oof, you're being naive, you know? Too naive. Huh? Seems that you forgot one spell thing, young lady. And that would be... This witness still has to undergo something called cross-examination. Cross-examination? He's right. And it's the defense's duty to carry out the cross-examination. Purpose is to determine if a witness's testimony contains any contradictions. Contradictions? You gotta love the tutorial levels. Mm-hmm. If a witness is lying, their statements will conflict with the court record. But Mr. Wright is my client. He is your client. In court, all lies must be struck down. As a lawyer, that is your duty, you see. Says the guy who was bought off with a painting? What does he mean by that? Is he saying that testimony just now? That there was a lie? A contradiction? Now then, your cross-examination, if you please. Miss Fay. Please, Mr. Wright, tell me you haven't been lying. It's not necessarily lying, they just may be stupid. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Mr. Wright, you stated the following in your testimony. I hardly knew the guy to begin with. That's right, I mean, why would I even... But that doesn't sound right. If you hardly knew him, then why would you say that victim was a stuck-up British wannabe? It's you. Well, Mr. Wright? No, it wasn't me. I'm not a killer, I swear. Mr. Wright, I'll give you an opportunity to revise your testimony. How is it that you knew the victim was, as you put it, a British wannabe? Yes, well... He was always walking around with a huge Union Jack on the back of his shirt. Yeah, no. Are you certain you saw the Union Jack? Yeah, I'm sure. It was right there on his back. Miss Fay, is there some point to this line of questioning? Your Honor, please take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, there's absolutely nothing on the victim's back. Hey, wait a minute. He's wearing a leather jacket. Union Jack was on the back of the t-shirt he was wearing. I was under the impression that you accidentally came across the body. But if that really the case, then you wouldn't know that, would you? You'd have no idea at all what he was wearing underneath that jacket. Mr. Wright, you've been lying to me. Please forgive me, why? Mia, you made our client cry. Let him. That P on his chest doesn't stand for Phoenix anyways. Can't believe I trusted him. Mr. Wright was all wrong. That was an impressive bit of cross-examination. Thank you for uncovering the defendant's lies for me. It's quite clear that this man did not simply stumble upon the scene of the crime. Ugh. E stands for perjury. Yep. Uh-oh. Did I go too far? By the way, Mr. Wright, you seem to have a rather bad cold. Have you taken any medicine for it? Yeah, I took some, but... Was the medicine that you took over the counter brand called Cold Killer X? Holy shit, if they named medicine that, people would take it more often. Cold Killer X! We kill your cold in an instant. Then we kill you. Anyways. Yeah, that's right. Kills cold is good. Yep. Hey, wait a second. How'd you know I'm a big fan of Cold Killer X? We Would you happen to have that medicine with you right now? Well, actually, I seem to have lost it somewhere. You lost it? Does this even have anything to do with the case? Mr. Wright, should I tell you where your cold medicine is right now? As I touch. Huh? Your Honor, I'd like you to take another look at another photo from the crime scene. Cold Killer X! What's this? The victim's hand. It's Cold Killer X! Kills colds dead. Also causes electric shock. Yes, but even I've got a bottle of Cold Killer X in my apartment. How is your objection higher than hers? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that argument won't work. There's no doubt as to who this bottle of Cold Killer X belongs to. Especially since Mr. Wright's fingerprints are all over it. Yeah, okay. What? Sensing his murderous intent, Mr. Swallow must have picked up a bottle of medicine. Dropped by Mr. Wright and hid it in his hand. But the guy was electrocuted. Oh. His purpose in doing so can only have been to identify his killer as Phoenix Wright. Order in the court. Your Honor, I'd like to present this photo and bottle as evidence. Very well. The court will accept them into the record. You do? Also, the victim's wristwatch is broken. Broken? Yes, it ceased functioning when a large wave of electricity passed through it. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have some kind of explanation for all of this? Really bad. Oh my... Oh, my buttock! My poor hemorrhoids! Winston is an idiot. Truth is, I went because he called me. He was in the pharmacology department, so he agreed to meet at 2:45 behind that building. We talked for a bit, and then around 3 o'clock we split up. Then later, when I went back, I found him lying there. I've been taking Cold Killer X for the last 2 or 3 days, but I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. Mr. Wright, that's completely different from the testimony you gave previously. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was afraid you wouldn't believe the truth. You'll forgive me to say if I say
Winston.
Yes? I want to say it's Winston Payne.
Yes.
Thank you. Smart one. You'll forgive me if I say I find... Thank you. Oh, okay. Yep. You'll forgive me if I say I hardly find your current testimony any more credible. Miss Fay, please begin your cross-examination. Oh, please, Mr. Wright, don't tell any more lies. Yes, please don't. Really haven't. Truth is, I went because... Oh, I read all this. Was it Mr. Swallow who indicated you should meet at 2:45? Yeah, and we were both there right on time. Said the victim was in the pharmacology department, correct? Yeah, he was studying how to manufacture and improve pharmaceuticals. Everyone called him the alchemist of IVU. An alchemist, I see. Gotta admit, I gotta admit... That's not in English, right?
Gotta admit it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything.
Oh, I keep thinking there was supposed to be an I. I gotta admit it was a little suspicious. He had a whole laboratory and everything. I kept thinking there was an I there. It's filled with chemicals and strange machines that run on high voltage electricity. Ho, how fascinating. He sounds like he was quite an ambitious young man. What do I do? Maybe I should ask him for some more details? I was wondering if you could tell us a bit more about the pharmacology department. Well, okay, sure. I don't know all that much, though. A little bit earlier in your testimony, you said something interesting. You said the department uses strange machines that run on high-voltage electricity. That's right. They sure look dangerous. They use non-standard voltages, so there are high-voltage cables everywhere. High-voltage cables? Yeah, there were electrical poles set up all around the building. The high-voltage cables run overhead or around the roof. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. Yep, press. On the day of the incident, what did you do for lunch? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? You'd never be too sure. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. Dolly's homemade lunches are just the greatest. Her mini omelets are magically delicious. Ouch! Why did you punch me in the jaw? Oh, I'm so sorry. I just felt like hurting someone all of a sudden. Holy crap. I think that's enough for now. So the defendant and the victim met at approximately the time of his death. Then the defendant returned to the scene for some unknown reason. Not entirely convinced by his explanation about the medicine bottle either. Let me be frank here. No, you're a judge, Mr. Wright. Your testimony cannot be trusted. What do you mean? I knew it was too much work for a little girl. However, there is one mystery that still remains. There is, Your Honor? How the murder was carried out, of course. Just how was the victim electrocuted? I don't believe the murder weapon has been produced yet, correct? Well, that is, you are correct, Your Honor. So how exactly was Mr. Swallow killed? By Mr. Spitz. If I could somehow establish how it was done, maybe I could still come out of this mess smelling like a rose. I think we can establish the murder. Your Honor. Yes, Miss Fay? I believe that if we were to piece together everything we've heard up until now, we should be able to solve the mystery of how Mr. Swallow died. That would be most impressive. Quite the brash statement coming from a rookie. But even a beginner like you must understand the basic rules of the court, yes? An attorney must be able to substantiate their arguments with evidence. Of course I know that. Actually, I'd totally forgotten about that. I have evidence that you don't actually have hair. You're actually bald. Now then, Miss Fay, let me see what you've got. Show me what you've got. Show me how you believe the victim was electrocuted. Photo 1. As for the cause of death, I'd say this picture captures it quite well. What? There's nothing that even remotely resembles a murder weapon here, unless we're talking about electrocution. High voltage wires sparking above the victim's back. Huh. I'm afraid the defense is going to have to explain this in a bit more detail. Miss Fay, where exactly is this? Yeah, the cable above the body. Naturally, it's right here. That's... What is that? A severed electrical cable, I believe, Your Honor? Remember the testimony we've heard. The machines that pharmacology students use in their experiments require high voltage. Extreme high voltage. And because of that, there are special high voltage cables strung up everywhere. So then the high voltage cable... Yes, the high voltage cable is the cause of death. That is the most likely explanation. That sounds certainly plausible. Well, Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, I believe some praise is in order. Don't toy with me, old man. Now, the victim's cause of death may indeed have been of high voltage cable. However, what do you think about what that really implies? The only one who had the opportunity to use the cable as a murder weapon was the defendant. How? That much is certainly true. Yes, and that's not all. We have proof. Irrefutable proof that will establish that Mr. Wright was the murderer. Is he Electro? Well, what is it? His fingerprint. Fingerprints? You mean the defendant's fingerprints were on something besides medicine bottle? Well, let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you can see, the victim is wearing a leather jacket. As you know, leather holds fingerprints quite well. I mean, yes, it was quite clearly imprinted on the chest area of the victim's jacket. They were fighting over a woman. Of course he shoved him. Palm printed the defendant's very own hand. What? I can only think of one way Mr. Wright could have left a print like that. Intent on murder, he squarely pushed the victim towards the severed electrical cable. Okay, it's a bit of a stretch, but I can see it. There we go. Order, that's enough. I think we can conclude that there is no reason to continue with this cross-examination. Stick a fork in us, we're done. Mr. Grossberg. My hemorrhoids never lie, the show is over, Mia. This guy and his asshole.
It's gross.
I knew that boy was guilty the first time I saw him. No, you're wrong. Mr. Wright is innocent. No further evidence is required to convince me of this man's guilt. Man, this guy is a terrible judge. Your Honor, at this time I am prepared to render a verdict in this case. Hold it! Something further to add, Miss Fay? Is this what you want, Mr. Wright? You still haven't told us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. If you don't say something now, the judge is going to hand down his verdict. But I can't. I just can't say it. If I told you what really happened, then I'd be... Okay, Mr. Wright. I'm your attorney. You can trust me. Miss Fay, no matter what it is you have to say, I believe in you and I'll represent you to the very end. We've already established the defendant's guilt. There's no further need for him to say anything. Wait a minute. Mr. Wright, I'll tell you what really happened. I've already told you, Mr. Wright, there's no need for further... I did it. I admit it. I pushed him. It's my fault. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, you need to stop. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that! Why is he sweating? Just said, was that the truth? Yes, I was afraid that if I told the truth, everyone would think I was the murderer for sure. Well, as things currently stand, we're all absolutely convinced you are. Please give me one more chance to explain. This time I swear I'll tell the whole truth. It'll be okay, won't it, Miss Fay? I believe in you. Oh, thank you. I can't believe it. He really did push the victim. Ugh, feels like my hemorrhoids are doing the Harlem Shake. Somebody get me my pillow. That guy, he was talking bad about Dolly.
Yes, ugh.
Lost my temper and gave him a shove. At that moment I heard some kind of loud noise. A little while after I left, I started to get worried. So I went back, but he was lying there, dead. The explanation is really quite simple. When you pushed him, Mr. Swallow flew back and touched the electrical cable. He died from the shock, and that, as they say, is that. Simple explanation. At the time of the incident, light rain had been falling. Wet from the rain, the victim was more easily electrocuted. But when I pushed him, there weren't any electrical cables nearby. If there had been something like that, even I would have noticed. Yeah, but isn't leather... I'm sorry. Excuse me. But if he was wearing a leather... Oh, isn't leather a great insulator for electrical?
That one I don't know for sure.
I'm pretty sure, because like when I've worked on electrical, you want to wear gloves. Anyways, that's true. Even a doofus like him couldn't miss that. Miss Faye, let me warn you right now that if your cross-examination doesn't yield any new facts, I intend to deliver my verdict without any further delay. Are we clear on that? Yes, Your Honor. Don't give up, Mia. He is innocent. There must be some kind of evidence somewhere that will prove it. A loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? That's sure, but it was really loud. It was like, snap! You know, come to think of it, I wonder what that was. Hee 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 hee! Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. Well, I think the victim would be doing the Harlem Shake at that point. Not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. That's right, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. I'm trying to remember what it was. How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha! Could it have been? Yes, could it have been? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. Fell right on top of it, and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. An umbrella, huh? And did that umbrella belong to the victim? Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone. Miss Faye, what do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Well... This is it, Mia, the new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. I'm going to officially have it entered into the testimony. Ha! Perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer. The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony. After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his umbrella. Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Come on, if I had mentioned that, I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. As the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. No! Order, order, order! The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now? Well, it was collected by the police at this crime scene. I want to present it as evidence immediately. The umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind. According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. Simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind. Yeah, but I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment. No! Let's say I still find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. Well done, Mia. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about? Pardon me, Your Honor. It seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. It's foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone. Afraid I don't follow what you're saying. Let me guess. You have another witness. Exactly. This witness's testimony will be Incontrovertible. I had to take my moment for a second. Well, who's this witness? Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly? I do, Your Honor. Defendant's very own lover is a witness of the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. Here, press on his belly.
Yeah, really.
That's every time I see the he, that's all I think of. I don't know why. Hi, Susan!
Hey, Susan.
There we go. What? Sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear. Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this. You can't be serious. Mia, what do you mean by that? I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. I will be right back.
We should take them out.
Yeah, we're going to take the dogs out. I'm going to go to the restroom and, yeah.
We'll be right back.
Be right back. She's not going to move. You want to go out, guys?
Come on, Willow.
You want to go out?
Willow. Willow.
All right, come on.
Yes, hi, buddy.
You
Come
want
on.
more?
No. Come on, let's go inside.
Get in your beds. Come on. Jake. There. Willow. Ah. Whew. Hope she still works in the library. Oh. Yeah, George, no, I was just chilling. Willow, bed.
Oh, Susan, I'll show you too.
Oh, yeah, Susan. She's got stuff to show.
So my sister found out she's having a girl. My sister's pregnant. And I got her this cute little outfit.
Bed. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It's Faye. I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah. So I guess I can start to relax then, huh? Relax, my boy? You can't be serious after hiding such important facts. But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. Then why is she testifying against you, buddy?
Yeah. She ain't saving you.
She probably killed him.
Yep.
Why do you think that? Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. Love of your life? Huh. Mind telling me more about you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dahlia and I, we first met about 8 months ago right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side. Anyway. One day, she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. And as soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Bad, bad, bad. Oh, here, take a look at this. She gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love.
The day you met.
She had been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off, but before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this. So she gave it to you as a present, I see. This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little Dolly. Is it drugs? Thank you! Even I would go, nope. And I'm dumb. Especially when it comes to women.
But yeah, like the first day,
No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Certainly is a little bottle, alright. Makes me so happy I show it off to everyone I meet. Of course you do. Share my happiness with the whole world. I hope things right. Anyway. So after that, you and Miss Hawthorne started dating? Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now.
I'd never felt so naughty.
What a strange girl asking for a present back like that. By the way, Mr. Wright, day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, wouldn't happen to have been on the August 27th, would it? Huh? Yeah, it was. But how'd you... This happened on August 27th, right here in this courthouse. Oh, is this linked to her case? What's this, newspaper clipping? Let's see, murder in the courthouse. Murder? Where are you reading there? Let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. Seriously. I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there is some connection between these two cases, am I correct? Very close. Hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. Huh?
Realize the baby's due the day after your birthday.
Be my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be better than my dad.
It's a she.
Maybe she'll be better than my dad.
It's a girl. We found this out on Saturday.
Oh, that was Sally's?
Yes.
Oh. I feel bad for that kid. You have a Virgo?
Okay.
I'll get along with it better. Or better. Sorry, I don't mean to call it a nit.
I mean, she has a Brooklyn.
I don't like Brooklyn, though. Anyway, sorry.
They're both. I hate both.
Hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself. Yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look in the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find. Thank you. Want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, it looks like recess is about over. We'd better all get moving.
Oh, both the girls are Capricorns.
What?
Both the girls are Capricorns. Brooklyn and Catherine. All our signs.
All I know is I like my brother. He's a Libra. Is he a Libra?
Yes.
Okay. My mom was a Gemini, just like
Yes.
you. Two-faced bitch.
She who shall not be named.
She who shall not be late, come by. Guess so. Recess sure seemed longer than 20 minutes, though. Not really. Ooh, I like that sound. I'm gonna have to steal that one. Separate saves for each game. Don't know why. Oh, I should pull this out again. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness. Oh, this one's fast. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. Prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. Oh, it's Megan Fox! What's with the stiff silence? My long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt. Take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity.
Of course.
I say so because she's got the dead eyes. Megan Fox has dead eyes. Looks like she's been dead for years. Probably because of abuse. But yeah, moving on. Can't believe he actually said that. Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous. Oh my god, you're sounding like a predator, Judge. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size.
Rebirth.
Oh my word. That's why we need more female judges.
Rebirth.
Oh, that's weird.
What?
Put John on call. Sorry, I'm looking at work. This I probably should not be looking at. Because I don't care. Fuck you, Adam.
Stop it.
Oh, I'll be fine. And I will bash them with my gavel! Oh, they look straight at me when they say that! Thank you for calming my nerves. You are all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all! It was nothing! Stroke, stroke, stroke.
Rebirth.
If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. Honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Stroke, stroke, stroke. Well, we know We... Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sir? Something I can help you with? You just go on and say whatever is on your mind. Sure, there must be some kind of mistake. Feeney wouldn't kill anyone, I just know it. Yes, I can see why you say that. She's going to be a tough witness, alright? Only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger.
Oy vey.
I want to play Overwatch again. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. Ouch. I'd been planning to go back to Feeney's place after class was over. Feeney and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. And suddenly Dougie got all wobbly and then just collapsed. Jesus, I can't speak. That's when Feeney noticed that I was there. To go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. That's convenient. Well, I don't know what to say, according to you. According to you, Miss Hawthorne. Fenton didn't do anything wrong. Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Who wrote this crap? Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never. More than enough, but I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. You haven't changed a bit. Mia Fey. What's this? So you two are acquainted? And all of a sudden, images start running through his head of a very obscure and very pornographic nature.
Stop it.
Oh. Yes, we've met before once. In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours. Good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girly. It's always weird with localization because it gets really strange sometimes. You're saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my.
I was watching the whole time. Feeney never did a thing to Dougie. If I press her for no good reason, I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? In bed they meet. Oh, okay. So in bed they meet, I bet. Yeah. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never! Oh, now she's crying.
Good.
Miss Fey, I will not allow you to badger this witness. Of course. Buzz. Gonna say something about your hair. I believe defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is her. She has no supporting. She's just staring at him. Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? No need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor. Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. With Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. There's... You say you didn't hear anything unusual, is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed looking at the scenery around me. Butterfly! That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
No, he's not my boyfriend. He's just a boy toy.
And he clearly testified to the fact that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? Really, that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. No way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. Ack! May I have a moment to answer? By all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. See, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, you're... Sorry. As you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. She was listening to music. Or there was lightning, sorry. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? She knows? She said there was lightning, correct? That's what about it. Lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now is not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Your Honor, anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? Oh, Must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. What kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? The entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. It's a stretch. Here's the defense may be onto something. Could it be the death actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that a guilty verdict. I heard that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye. Huh? Not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location. What? What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case. Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. Who's this affidavit from? The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. Okay, here's my issue. What the fuck are pharmacology students doing with high voltage?
Yeah, I don't know.
A pharmacist, or someone who's studying pharmacy, or, well, a pharmacist, studying to be a pharmacist, should be dealing with pills and amounts and possible diagnosis. Not high voltage!
Yep.
Anyways, all equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. Power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m. Which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report. Excuse me. Exactly. In other words, victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break. He hit it with the umbrella. Testimony added to the court record. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it had been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. To come up with something to try to regain some momentum. Please, the court defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. Oh, we're all getting tired.
Yes.
But we'll get through this case and then we'll call it. The defendant's testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right in Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yes, prosecution also came to that same conclusion. It was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted, not Mr. Spitz, though. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted. Sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. The victim was shoved into the far pole. He couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. Ah! In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Order! Order in the court! There we go. Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any, Mr. Judge, sir? May I say something? No. Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the? Please, just once more. May I testify? Please testify one last time, please, Mr. Judge? Of course it's alright. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. Truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. First time was in an electrical pole, that's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind. Cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted, it all occurred in less than a minute. Oh, now you're grasping at straws. So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away. And that's when the defendant pushed him for the second time. So sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge? Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Idiot. Now then, Miss Faye, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Alright, let's tear this apart. First, let's get an achievement. Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Feeny. So that's why you basically lied to the court? I was a bad girl. I know. Mr. Judge? Yes? Would you please forgive little old me? Of course he won't! What you did is called perjury. Oh, come now. It was just a little old white lie. Asshole! We'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, alright? Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge. Not at all. Ho, ho, ho! Thanks, Santa. Judge had better be more careful himself. Dark Alley is friendlier than that girl. That's enough, witness. Oh no, that's too much. Oh, and huskies too? He like inhaled that ball. Living their best life. Alright, that's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeny likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. Stop at the precise time the victim was electrocuted.
3:05.
It is?
Something.
Yeah, you were right on the money. I'm bad with it. Love that thing, though, but you suck. Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye? Point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Oh, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55. Do you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? Defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. This is nonsense. Real murder? Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. And then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it? Only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Spitz. Only after my client had left the scene was there a window of opportunity for the real killer. This is Spitz. Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone who has this real killer? It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready. Very well. But remember, if you are accused the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. I will spank you. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who is this real killer? Could have only been you, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. How can you? The defense is grasping at straws.
Yes.
Yeah. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as you thought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Order, Miss Faye. What do you mean? Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting the other day. However, After Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your own hands, Mrs. Spitz. Ah! How can you say something so mean, Madam Fay? I didn't do anything. Miss Fay, this is a very serious thing. Oh, shut up, you. Your Honor! Please, I have something I want to say. You! What is it? Please strike everything in the defense just now from the record. What the? Where are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Fay. Yeah. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. The guy warned you about her. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Smack him on his pee-pee. Arrgh! Achoo, achoo. Leave my Dolly alone. It was a joke. It was an old Cheech and Chong thing. Anyways. Oh, that boy. Got himself in way over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back.
User joined your channel.
Seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. Haha, the nick. Found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping. Doesn't tell me much. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. You better take a good look at it. It details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Oh. What? Lawyer. She was suspected to poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity. Ooh. She a bitch. Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, Your Honor, I May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. That is, go right ahead. Madam Fay, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you killed Doug Spitz, too. She also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. Told you that you should have let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead. How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for a poor little me to bear. I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be. Answer that to that lies somewhere in this police report. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then, that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Oh, the poison necklace. Yeah. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Further testimony? What about? But the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could this possibly have to do with this case? Witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, has a very good reason. Very well done. The court grants the defense request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Ready for the battle of your life, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Almost done. First met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. Like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. Been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey people. We literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Wright, do that again, you'll be held in contempt of court. Now we enter the final act of our little drama. He was the one who... As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her! Oh. Courthouse reading room? That's a strange place to meet the love of your life. It's not true, Madam Fay. After all, Feeney was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room? This line of questioning is a waste of time and has nothing to do with our murder case. Miss Fay, I'm warning you, if this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case, I have to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. I better tread carefully. Your Honor, if you'll allow me to some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony. Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room? Please, Your Honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. Screw you. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of the research paper, were you? Did you actually come here for a much more important reason? What does it mean, a cocky smile on your face, Miss Fay? 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy? Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned? You know about it. The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report. That name is Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Dahlia Hawthorne? Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was a prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago. Order, order, order. This is unbelievable. It's true then. Blah, blah, blah. Miss Fay, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness like that. I wince in pain will not allow it. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking. Pardon me. Go right ahead. It's true that about 8 months ago, police expressed some interest in me. Expressed some interest, huh? Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago. I see. Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. I just gotta stay on the offensive. Well done, Mia. Ooh, you've really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks. Can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. With the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day, left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. So that's what happened here 8 months ago. However, as you heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just about out of tricks. Terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. Ah, what the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger? Ha-ha, Mia, you're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. A proud posture and self-confidence, absolutely smashing. Pharmacology student. Wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison? I don't believe you. What? In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab. Boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow? That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. You're fine. If you'll recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology? Yeah. Deals with pills and things like that, and not high voltage. This laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have obtained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then, it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at his very table. You. No! Order, order, order! Could it be? That's nothing but a... May I say something, Madame Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. Well, yes, that's true. I searched immediately after the incident took place. Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down. But they didn't find a suspicion container anywhere, did they? Right. I never mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. Proof? Got me good with that. Provide some evidence, or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead. Police conducted a full body search of Dahlia and the entire courthouse. Yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. We're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder. And where is the container the poison was carried in? Blah, blah, blah. Present. You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched. Who is this person? Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was this witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present. What? But that's... That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye? The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago. August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away. What? You're saying there's a deadly poison in here? No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. No! Wah! Order! Order in the court. Shut up, you! On behalf of Dahlia, I object. Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this. Mr. Wright, thought I told you to stay in your seat. Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her. You stupid idiot. Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? What exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Well, I guess you must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of that necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room. You said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl asking for a present like that. Present back like that. For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. She never gave it back to her. To make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she... I don't believe you. No, that's a lie! Wah! Eek! Mia, are you alright? Ha, the defendant. He's getting away. Bailiff, hurry! After him! Mia, are you alright? Yes, I think so. But boy, he went completely insane. Where's Mr. Wright? Looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough. Thank goodness. Oh no! What is it? Bottle necklace, Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone. What? It's terrible. Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me. Foolish boy, that's the only thing that could have saved him. What in blazes are we supposed to do now? Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that your apology is not enough. Mr. Wright, what'd you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me. I'm sorry. It's okay. Just give back the necklace. I ate it. What? You ate it? Too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first, but yeah. Ugh. Ah! What the? What? What's he doing now? Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? The bottle you swallowed may have had some poison left in it. Seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain a deadly poison. How can you be so sure? I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. As for the poison, we're like a fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination. Would seem. No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency. There. It's alright, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong. That's enough. Fortunately, Miss Fay, I cannot accept your explanation of the events. But why? It may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand, but in a court of law, evidence is everything. Ugh. Even after I prove so much, is she going to get away with everything? Well, now that the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up, I would like to proceed with the trial. Now, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry, Miss Fay. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? Something I forgot to tell you. What is it? The day I met Doug Swallow. Girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake. If you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab. Poison? Same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time, too. Could only have been her. That girl is a thief. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. Is it true? Did he really say that? That's ridiculous. One more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. She was there. Dahlia was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? He told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but I'm sorry, Dahlia. Your Honor, the defendant is Miss Fay. You tell them. Dahlia didn't do it. She's innocent. Dahlia stole poison 8 months ago, too, huh? If you put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before? Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Fay, you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back, therefore, exactly who was Miss Dahlia Hawthorne planning to kill? One person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way. That person was Phoenix Wright. Me? That's preposterous! After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered. Well, it's true that that's how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be. But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love. Poor Mr. Wright must be killing him. Hang in there, I'll bring her to justice, I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right, the bottle necklace. That's all she cared about. But even so, why would she go so far as to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria, Dahlia Hawthorne could think of only one thing. How to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. No, it can't be. It's a pretty good move she made too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence. That can't be true! Beanie, what a joke you are. Oh, now we get the bitch mode. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne? Appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. First, where's your evidence? Seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottles of snack.
What's up, fuckers?
Hey, bro.
Fuck you, that's why.
Hi, bro. Well, hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face? Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you? Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now, if you don't mind. But we're not finished. Fine. Then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. Can't let her get away this time. Stop, Mia. If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you can pay the ultimate price as a lawyer. The ultimate price? Be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid. No. Better think it over carefully, Miss Fay, or should I say Miss Gray? Well, Miss Fay, can you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all? If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof. Impossible! You can't possibly. Stupid woman. It is the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented. It's one. If you are unable to establish your guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright. I understand, Your Honor. Just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's newspaper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar. Planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there. Well then, Miss Fay, please present your evidence. Show to this court the irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright. Here it is, Your Honor. Evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all. Cold Killer X. Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine. Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold? If I did it, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. What? Remember what the defendant said in his testimony. I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. She was the one who took his bottle of Cold Killer X. Then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some. Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Doug Swallow, that was holding the medicine. I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence? Huh? What are you talking about? 8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run into in the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That's when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poisoned bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright. I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant. Yes, she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and the victim were arguing about and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug Swallow to live. So she used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. She unalived him. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. Hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying that bottle of poisoned cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago? 8 months ago? Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold it. In this case, Doug Swallow, not Mr. Spitz. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you? This stupid woman, she's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? Huh? Yes, that's exactly right. It's just pure desperation. Wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine. I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some? Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey! Mia Fey! Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? Fine. That's just fine. For the time being, victory is yours. Time being? Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again, I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge, I'll see you later too, okay? Huh? Yes. I'm going to go spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. Wish you all the best. Whew, it's finally all over. I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim. But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it. I don't care. I'm Winston Payne. And I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said. Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this. Yes? Care to try this cold medicine? What? Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said. There, it's alright, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness Miss Hawthorne with my very life. If she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right? Yes, I see. And here comes the back pedal. Come on now, rookie killer, show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life? Yeah, and there goes his hair. happened to his hair. Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne? Yes, Your Honor. I'll file papers for her immediate arrest. Tragic, but not surprising. Knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Don't lie, just admit you were wrong. By the way, Miss Fay? Yes, Your Honor? Was it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other? Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case. Very well. Mr. Payne? This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing to my daughter. It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything further to say? It can't be true. My dear Dolly! Very well then. I believe I'm ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. Court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright, not guilty! Yay! Court is adjourned. Yeah, you were wonderful in there. Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg. During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvius. God fucking damn it. Mr. Grossberg, do you think, maybe you could stop talking about them? That's rather rude. Anyway, this case made me really think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this. Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations. Thanks, I was thinking. Go on. The Dahlia that I saw up there on the witness stand, I don't think that was really her. What? Yeah, Dahlia I know would never have said those kind of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something. Well, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. Need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake. Yeah, you're right. It's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But, out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up. Eek, what kind of company does this guy keep? Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself. You keep saying. I thought you were in the art department. Yeah, I am. There's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. See, say Miss Fay? A lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself. But I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. Became a lawyer like I planned and managed to save my friend. Mia has passed on to a better place. Maybe this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. Memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia's gone now. But even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. 5 long years. Excuse me. Something has happened that's made me think back to her words of wisdom. That's a story for another day. Dun 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 dun. Yay, we get to deal with him next. As we will save. Then we will call it.
Yes.
Alright, we are stopping for the night. You all... Well, I'm going to stop this once I get to a point where I can. Oh my word.
Gumshoe.
Gumshoe. I didn't catch that, did you? Oh, it's a mask to mask. Don't worry, we're going up here in a second, Jake. Like Lupin the Third. You have no idea. Oh man, you don't even know that. Damn it.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go to bed, buddy.
Boy.
Who's a good boy?
Okay, finally I can stop it. Alright, we are going to call it a night. Alright,
Widow.
we are going to stop though. Anyways, you all have a good night.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll probably be playing It Takes Two.
Yes.
As long as you don't get too mad at the controls.
I'm getting the hang of them.
Yeah, no worries.
We'll be back tomorrow, probably around 2:30 or so, our time.
Something like that. Alright, you all have a good night though.
Bye, guys.
Peace.